Greetings friends. It's Denise again with Denise's Dancing Paintbrush and another collage. This is a quick one. I decided to do some little birds, sparrows to be exact, and I decided I needed to start with a dark background because the sparrows are kind of middle value, light brown to dark brown, and a very pale breast section and belly section. And so I really wanted that to stand out, the pale parts. So I used a dark green and put in some brown for my background, but I also wanted some flowers, and I found this, I don't even know what the plant is. It was blooming outside our apartment building with long spikes of purple flowers, very small purple flowers, and it was just lovely. I went out and took a bunch of photos to use as a photo reference for the future, and this is the day I'm using that reference. Notice I threw in some pictures of apples and children because, hey, it's a collage. I can do that. Now, halfway through putting on my background, I noticed that the upper bird is not quite right. The drawing made him too long, and so I ended up having to change that. You see, I nearly blocked out his tail altogether to make him shorter and with his tail sticking up a little more, because he's supposed to be, well, the perspective is that he's supposed to be looking over his shoulder toward us, the audience, with his tail up where you can see the upper or the lower part of the tail. And the lower bird is side view where you can see the full upper part of the tail. And so, they started to look too much alike. So I had to change that little bird. And now I'm putting on the pale breast colors for my little birds. Need to have a little shadow on the left side of both of them. Because the shadows actually make a big difference. They add dimension and depth. And you can see I took my pencil out and changed his face as well. I had to move that back in order to make him look like he's looking over his shoulder. Sometimes you have to reevaluate even while you're working on a project. So that happens. Now, the beak was a very dark gray, but I needed it to be somewhat outlined. And so, as you can see, I used my dark bluish gray and then put black around it. That looks better. You can see the upper or the lower part of this upper bird's tail. And now it's time to put some little eyes. Also, black eyes on a black mask. It's not going to show up unless I put a pale gray ring around it. So I cut the gray circle out first and put the black circle on top of it. I'll have to do the same thing for this lower bird. You see I used a pale gray for the beak and put black around it, rimmed around. The same with the eye. I'll use a gray circle or oval basically for the eye and cut out a black oval to go on top of it, just enough to let the rim show. Problem with cutting out these tiny pieces is I often drop them and then I have no idea where it went. It flutters to the ground and slides under things and I end up having to cut the same piece out more than once. But here it is, all done. Tell me what you think of my little sparrows. Of course I threw in a few words because hey, it's collage, I can do that. Except for the eyes and the beak, everything was torn on this collage. And tearing is not exact, but you get as close as you can. I sure appreciate everybody watching all the way to the end. And do check out some of my links and come again and see what else that I'm doing. Always something going on my art table. I can't help it. I love art, and that's the way it is. I'll see you all next time. Bye, everyone.